how to use the hours before or after your day job to build the dreams without sacrificing your financial stability. Because I believe it is easier to focus on your goals when your rent and your mortgage is paid, okay? Most people think they have to choose between living a stable life and having a job or their ambitious goals, but you don't. You can have both. Let me show you how. Before you serve other people on your day job from 9 to 5, you need to serve your dreams from 5 to 9. This is the mindset shift I want you to make this week. Your day job is not holding you back from your goals. It's actually funding your goals. Too many people see their job as a prison. But what if you saw your job as your investor? What? What if instead of resenting your 9 to 5 job, you actually appreciated it for paying your bills while you build something bigger? That's what we're going to explore today. How to protect your energy during the day so that you have more time left for yourself. We're going to talk about how to claim those precious hours either before work or after work and how to strategically use them to change your life. Let's talk about the advice that most people give you. Quit your job, take the leap. You got to go all in. If you don't quit your job, maybe you don't believe in yourself. You got to go all in on your dreams. But while that sounds real inspiring, and most people resist that because they understand that their job is paying their bills, and then some people actually quit their job and find out later that they can't be creative because they don't have the bills paid, the bill collectors are calling, and you're having all of these problems, and now you don't have the energy to go after your goals. Please listen to me. Do not quit your job prematurely. That can be one of the worst financial decisions you can make. And it can set you back a bit on your goals. Because as an entrepreneur, I know that entrepreneurship is unpredictable. You got days where you out here winning, but then there are days where it's just dry. You're not making any money. Things are extremely hard. And without that financial cushion that you have from a job, you start to make these decisions for your business, or you start to make these decisions for your goals out of desperation because what? You need to make some money. Now, desperation can work for you, but in many cases, that desperation really works against you. As a business owner, there were times when I didn't have a job that I did business deals not for the long haul, but just for the short-term success that I needed because I had to pay the mortgage. It's not strategic, and I don't want you to do that. I've seen it happen over and over again where people quit the job and then they dive into their passion, but they have no safety net. They end up making all kind of risky choices just to survive. And I believe this. It is easier to make sound decisions, whether those are business decisions or otherwise, when the mortgage is paid, honey. I just know it because I've lived it. When your basic needs are covered, you can think clearly about the long term. And so you can be strategic instead of scrambling to find the next dollar because you need to buy some grocery or because you need to pay that light bill. You get what I'm saying? Here's the solution to that. I call it the 5 to 9 advantage. You don't need more hours in your day. What you need is to use the hours you already have with intention. You gotta use them more intentionally. Most people waste those hours before and after work. What are we doing? We're scrolling on social media, we're binge watching shows on Netflix, or we're waiting for some inspiration to do the things we need to do. But those of us who are high achievers, we use those hours to plan, to execute, and to reflect on what it is we're dreaming of, to walk towards our purpose, to build that business, to do that thing we hope to do, right? I talked about building my backyard or rebuilding my backyard for myself. It was my dream. It was for my birthday. I wanted something special for myself. Well, when did I do that? 5 to 9 hours. Whether that's 5 to 9 in the morning or 5 to 9 in the evening, those hours are yours. These are the hours you should be using to invest in yourself. You can start looking at your day job as a funder for the dreams that you're trying to build. That extra money that you make or the extra money you have outside of paying your bills and taking care of your kids and buying grocery, now you can use your day job to fund your dreams. So keep that job, honey. It pays the bills. It gives you health insurance. It also provides you with stability. So instead of seeing that job as a limitation, I want you to start seeing it as your investor. So here's the first decision you need to make. Are you a morning person or are you a night owl? Very funny. I'm very much a morning person. And my daughter, who I often work with on business things, is a night owl. So there are so many times that we're bumping heads, but it's okay. We've learned how to work together. If you are a morning person, you usually wake up naturally early, or maybe you can train yourself to become a morning person. I think mornings are like golden, y'all. You can get a lot of deep work done before the whole world wakes up and starts bothering you. Before the emails start flooding in from work, before all kinds of distractions start taking over, the morning is when your mind is so fresh. It really sets the tone for the entire day. This is so me. I wake up at about 5 a.m. with no problem. Sometimes, if I know I've got to get a lot done, I'll even wake up at 4 a.m. because I used to hear your dream, your goal ought to make you jump out of the bed in the morning. And oh my, sometimes, me and the Lord, y'all. So if you're a night owl, this is just someone who functions better at night. And that's perfectly fine. Don't let anybody make you feel bad because you're not a morning person. It's just the way you work. And that's fine. The real key is if you're a night owl, now you got to preserve your energy for the day. Now, I might get in trouble for this, but I'm going to tell you something. Don't give your job 125% or 150% of your energy if you're a night owl. You are going to give them what they pay you for, 100%. Now, I say this as an employee and an employer, okay? Save the rest of that for yourself. Save some energy for yourself. After work, then you can transition naturally and intentionally into your focus time. So you go to work, you give that job what they pay you for, not 125%, 100%. All right? So there's no right or wrong answer here. Either you're a morning person or you're a night owl. The key here is knowing your own rhythm and working with it and not against it. You can try to become a morning person if you think that that will work for you. And I might try to convince you throughout this course to become a morning person because during the nighttime, everybody's awake and now you're getting text messages and folks need stuff. But if you get up early in the morning before everybody wakes up, you can get a whole lot done in like an hour or 2 hours rather than in the evening when everybody's interrupting you and it takes 4 or 5 hours to do all the things that you're trying to get done. Let's talk about that energy management because this is crucial. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources. So I need you to protect it like you protect your money. At work, like I said, we're not going to give them 125%, 150%, 200%. You're going to give them 100%. They used to say a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. And that's what we're going to do because your time and your energy belong to you and your dreams. I want you to avoid energy drains during the day. What's an energy drain? You know what drains you. That's that office gossip, that unnecessary family drama, those meetings that could have been emails. Avoid those things that you can avoid. Learn how to say no and learn how to set boundaries around your energy and your time. Now, I want you to also take strategic breaks. Don't power through 8 hours straight. I know this because I've been working like this for a little while, trying to get ready for the podcast, the courses, the community, and all the things that I'm launching here at the beginning of the year. So I want you to take some breaks. Get you some water. See, I got my water here. Hydrate. Get up, move your body, reset your mind, because this preserves your energy for later. After every podcast recording I do, I'll get up, get some water, go and look at my phone for a couple minutes, and then come back and do the next one. Taking short breaks really helps. I know maybe you're driven like me and you want to just power through, get it done, and feel good about it at the end, but your mind needs that time to break. So when you think about preserving your energy, make sure you take a few breaks during the day or during your deep work time. Transition intentionally. Don't just go straight from work stress to focus time. Create a transition ritual. I laugh about this because I'm finding more and more that people often sit in their cars, in their garage, after they leave work before they go in their house, or in their garage after they leave an activity and before they go into their house. So what you need to do is create that transition ritual, whether that's coming in and changing clothes or coming in and taking a walk, maybe listening to a little music. But whatever it is, you need to signal to your brain that the workday is done and you've given that job all you can give it. Now it's time for you to focus on you. It's your me time. Now, I don't want you to feel guilty, especially if you're a parent, because I'm a parent. My kids are grown now, but I don't want you to feel guilty about managing your energy either as a parent or as an employee. That energy management is not selfish. It is a strategic move that helps you get towards your goals. I need you to schedule your day like a CEO, the CEO of your life. If it's something important, it gets scheduled, period. So high achieving people don't just schedule their work meetings. They schedule everything that's important to them. I want you to sit down every Sunday and plan out your week like the CEO that you are, the CEO of your life, and later the CEO of your business if that's what you're going for. I'm talking about not just your work schedule, but I'm also talking about your entire life. You're going to put any kind of work commitments on your calendar, and you may have been doing that already. But I also want you to schedule time for your own personal growth. I want you to schedule that 5 to 9 time. Now, 5 to 9 is just what we're calling it. You're going to have the time schedule that you need, but think about those blocks where you can work on your goals. At the beginning of the week, sometimes on Sunday night, I look at all the meetings I'm supposed to have for the week and all the places I'm supposed to be. And then I write down those blocks of time where I'm going to work on my podcast or where I'm going to work on writing more courses or where I'm going to work on maybe another book. This is my me time. This is my 5 to 9 time, my strategic time. And you already know because I told you it's usually really early in the morning. But I want you to treat this like a meeting with your future self. It is non-negotiable. This is your time. So look at your calendar, look at your schedule, and plan time for that self-care. I used to hear, oh, it's self-care Sunday. Honey, self-care is every day. Whether you are a parent of young children, whether you are a spouse or a wife or a husband, self-care is every day. You need to be caring for yourself, especially when you have goals. When you're looking at your calendar and you're scheduling things, make sure you schedule your workouts, your meal prep, your rest time. Ooh, we're going to get into that a little bit. Make sure we're scheduling that rest time because rest is important. I'm learning that, y'all. If it's not scheduled, it probably ain't gonna happen. Schedule your family time and your social time, your time with your loved ones, your date nights, your friend connections. Make sure you schedule that. I learned the hard way. I did not schedule that. And I feel like a lot of times after I was going after my goals, the people around me felt a little rejected. So make sure you schedule time in with family and friends. That's probably the most important part of your life. Let me tell you about Olivia. Olivia is a single mom and she wanted to launch an online tutoring business, but she couldn't quit her job. She had two options. She could work late nights after her kids went to sleep, or she could work early mornings before they woke up. She decided to test out being a morning person. So at first it was hard for her. I mean, like really hard. But after a few weeks, it became second nature. Every morning from about 5 till about 7:30, she worked on her business. And it was before her workday. She would start, she would outline her tutoring programs. She was drafting and creating her website. She was creating all the content she needed and really worked on her business plan during this time. Within 12 months, she had enough clients to leave her job and run her own business full time because she used that 5 to 9 time. Here's what you need to know. You don't need more hours in a day. What you need to do is use the hours that you have better than you've been using them before. That is the power of the 5 to 9 advantage. It's not about finding more time. It's about making time with the time that you have because we only have 24 hours in a day. Let's be real. You're going to face some challenges when you try this, right? So let me prepare you. Challenge number one that you're going to face is a lack of energy. You feel drained after work, or maybe if you want to get up early, you're struggling with that getting up early. So here's the solution. And that solution is about preparation. You got to prioritize your sleep, hydrate yourself throughout the day, fuel your body properly with good food. Man, this is a lesson that I'm learning. There are just certain things that we eat that absolutely drain our energy. And you know what those things are because I know what those things are for me. After I eat them, I got the itis, y'all. I get sleepy. And if you don't know what the itis is, go ahead and look that up. But what you want to do is create a energizing pre-work or post-work routine that signals to your brain that it's time to focus. You want to figure out what it is that you need to do. For some people, early in the morning, they'll grab some coffee. That signals to their brain, all right, we're about to get to work, all right? So you need to create that routine and think about what those things are. Again, after work, maybe it's, jamming to some real good music after you get off work, and then you pump yourself up to get ready for your 5 to 9 p.m. Work time, your me time. Then challenge number 2 that I know you're going to face is your family and friends won't respect your time. They see that you're at home, so that means you're available. Here's the solution. You're going to have to talk to them about it. You're going to have to sit them down and you're going to have to explain that this is my dedicated work time and that you need their support. If necessary, again, to avoid it, maybe you got to wake up a little bit earlier so you can work in a pretty quiet environment and make sure it's a distraction-free space. If you have to, maybe you got to run off to the library or go off to Starbucks so you can get away from all the people and all the things. Sometimes when you're at home, that essentially means you're available. So that means I can keep interrupting you. I used that strategy when I was working on my dissertation. Quite honestly, when I really needed to do a lot of writing, I would go sit up in a hotel for a weekend and get away from everybody and everything just so that I could work on my goals. Of course, I had to schedule that with my family. And then there is challenge number 3. It's all about you. You can't stay consistent. You start strong, but you lose momentum after a few days or a few weeks. Society tells us that most people set a goal on January 1st, and by, what do they say, maybe like the 10th or the 21st, they've already fallen off. You've got to create some accountability. So if you don't have any friends or family members around you, that's what the community is for. You need to find somebody who's working on a similar goal. Now, I don't mean you got to share with them all your amazing ideas, because I don't want anybody stealing your amazing idea, but you need to find some people who are working on something similar. So make sure you hang out in our community, find you an accountability partner, someone who believes in you and can help you track your goals, and it can help you stay on track with your goals. Maybe you can use like a habit tracking tool. You can look those up, especially like if your goal is to lose weight. There are so many tools that you can use to track, you know, the weight that you're losing along the way. So you can always go back and see your progress. And most importantly, I need you to treat your 5 to 9 time like it is an unbreakable appointment with yourself. You wouldn't skip out on a doctor's appointment if you really needed to see the doctor, right? So don't skip out on this either. Remember that consistency beats intensity every single time. It's about consistency, working on that thing every single day.